everyone. In case you didn't notice, I got a new camera, so I hope you enjoy the quality of this video. Sorry if I keep looking into the viewfinder instead of the lens. I'm gonna be adjusting to this, so we'll see how this goes. Today, I'm going to tell you a story about my horrible, disastrous nail salon experience. Wow, what a gem. So yesterday I went to the nail salon to get my acrylics off permanently, and this has been like, I have had acrylics since prom. So if you watch my prom video, I don't know if that was like 4 months ago, and now I don't have any, and it's very sad. It makes me very sad, but it's just for like school and stuff. Anyway, so I went to the salon yesterday and I remembered about like the whole entire disastrous experience I had last time. So like I said, for the past like 4 months I've been getting acrylics. I usually get acrylics with gel on top of it so that they stay for a whole entire month and I don't have to touch them and they look beautiful. The only downside of this is that it's expensive as shiitake mushrooms. It's so expensive to get them done, so I was like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna like, you know, try to save some money. I'm gonna go to a beauty school. So I call up this place and I'm like, hey, do you have any appointments available for later on into the day today? And this guy responds saying, absolutely not. How could you think we have appointments today? And I'm like, all right, that's fine. I was like, do you have any appointments like this later this week? Like, I really just need to get my nails done. And he's like, let me check for you. Sure, tomorrow. So I was like, okay, coming in. The appointment started at 11 a.m. So I come in the next day, and it's like it looks pretty nice, and they give me all these forms, like 50 forms to sign, not 50, like 5 forms to sign with my name, fill out my information. I'm like, what is this? Like, I've never gone to a nail salon and had to get stuff signed, but I was like, okay, whatever, it's a beauty school, maybe it's a little different, you know, I have to sign a waiver release form, and I was like, that's fine. So I go there, I sit down, and I've been waiting for like a very long time for them to call me for my nails, and finally they call me for my nails, and I'm like, thank Jesus, I need to get my nails done. They are so like grown out and nasty looking. And this lady took me to this room, and I go in, and the first thing I'm like, am I even in a salon? Like, there are school desks everywhere. Like, what? Okay, that's fine. Whatever, maybe, you know, they don't have space today and they're just gonna do it at a school desk. But I was expecting at least like 2 of those like nail salon chairs, but these are literally like school desks like next to each other, like very strange. Anyway, and it smells putrid. It smells like if you've ever gone to a nail salon amplified by like 1,000. Like, they did not clear out the chemicals. Like, it's making my head hurt so bad. Anyway, so I was like, whatever, facility is fine, you know, it's cheap, I'm just gonna get it done. Sit down, and this girl who I have looks younger than I am, and she doesn't speak English at all. So I was like, that's great. Like, that's pretty good, you know, whatever, I can't like communicate with her. Anyway, so the teacher comes over, and I was like, okay, like, why is the teacher coming over? And she's like, oh, she doesn't speak English, like, just tell me what you want. And I told her, I was like, oh, I usually get like acrylics with gel, and I need to get these old ones removed so I can get new ones. And she's like, okay, like, why don't you want fills? I was like, well, I can't really get fills, like, they're broken. She's like, oh, really? I was like, well, I don't really know, like, you're the salon person, like, you tell me what to do. Anyway, so the girl's like, okay, I can hear her being like, she speaks Spanish, and she's like, profesora, I don't know how to say it. She's saying professor, but I don't know how to say it exactly, so sorry if I offend anyone. She's like, profesora, and I was like, what is going on? Like, don't you know how to do this? Like, I understand if you have like a few questions, but like, don't you know how to do this? Anyway, so she puts my hands into acetone for about 2 hours. I was like, are you kidding me? 2 hours to soak my hands? And whenever I go to a different nail salon to take the acrylics off, they use another acrylic nail. I've never had to soak them in acetone for that long, and if they do soak them in acetone, it only takes like half an hour maximum, and 2 hours! I was like, Jesus, my head hurts, like, I can't do this. There were other people coming into the salon, and I saw this one lady get a pedicure. They don't even have a foot stand. Like, she was like putting her feet onto the girl's like knees who was doing her pedicure. I was like, this is like really ratchet. Like, maybe I'll give it a chance. Anyway, I was like, that's fine, I'm just gonna wait it out. It's fine. She's probably just learning. She probably knows what she's doing, you know, why would they give her to me? The other girl who she was talking to, she's like, oh, how do I do this? Or something like that. And she's like, oh, scrape off the nails. She starts like banging on my nail. Like, I get like cuts everywhere. It's bleeding. I'm like, what are you doing? Okay, maybe, like, that's fine. Sometimes it gets cut, so like, it's fine. I'm just sitting there like, okay. My brother comes in by this point and he's like, Eve, are you ready to go? I was like, we haven't even started putting on the acrylic yet. Like, do you understand? She doesn't have the right brush to put on the acrylic. Like, usually there's like, I know how it looks. Like, I've gone to the salon. I used to get acrylics all the time. Like, all throughout junior year, I had acrylics and I had it for these past 4 months. She takes this like huge ass brush. She gets like a brush like this. And it's like, oh, let me just like put the acrylic Girl, no! No! What are you doing? So she tells, okay, so the professor is like, let me show, like, she's like talking to the girl who's doing my nails, and she's like, let me show you how to put the acrylic on. She does the acrylic perfectly, like, it looks great. I'm like, oh, fantastic, like, she knows what she's doing. The girl who's actually doing my nails takes a glob and globs it on. And this is where I start freaking out, because I can see the acrylic drying into, like, waves, like, big blobs on my fingernails, and I'm like, alright, like, I'm like, okay. And this other girl comes up who's her friend or whatever, she's like, do you like that? Do you like your nails? And I was like, oh, could she like even them out a little? Like, I didn't want to be rude, but I was like, could she even them out? They're a little like bumpy. And she's like, oh, sure. And she tells her even them out, and she's like, oh, looks fine. I'm like, girl, they do not look fine. Have you ever seen an acrylic nail? Anyway, so I was like, okay, this tear is almost done. Like, they did it, whatever, it's bumpy. I don't care. Like, just like fix it. Like, do something. She starts like, I was like, and the other girl who was her friend was like, oh, they'll look a lot better when she files them. She starts filing them. She doesn't even know how to file. She's like, takes this like miniature, like this small of a nail file and is like trying to scrape my nail. I'm like, girl, no. The lady, so we get to the point where they start painting the nails. Oh, and let me just tell you, the acrylic was like everywhere. It was like all over my skin, like everywhere, like around this whole thing. The lady comes over, the professor, and she's like, oh, because I was like, oh, I wanted like gel nails on top of it. Like, I wanted shellac. I didn't want regular nail polish. And she's like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, like, that's what I told you in the beginning. Like, I wrote that on my form and everything. She gets me the colors of shellac they have, and they have 3 colors. 3. They have like a red, a clear, and a pink. What? You don't have any colors? Okay. So I was like, no, it's fine. I'll just get regular nail polish. Like, I just want to get the heck out of there. Like, I was so tired, and I was exhausted. I didn't eat anything yet. And it was already like 3 p.m. Like 11 to 3. Do you understand how long that is? She starts painting my nails, and I was like, okay, hopefully this girl can at least paint nails. Takes the nail polish, paints it over, like all over the finger, everywhere. And I was like, okay, maybe she's gonna clean it up. No, she didn't clean it up. She's like, oh, I love this color. Like, this looks so great on you. There's dents everywhere in the nail polish. And not only that, I thought she was gonna be like, okay, and this is the part where I'm like so tired, so cranky. I'm just like, hurry up, like, please just finish them. Like, I need to leave. All the girls in the salon who were her friends who were also learning to do nails, they were like, oh, beautiful, like, love them so much. The girl's like, let me take a picture for my portfolio. She's like, let me take a picture. And I was like, okay. And she puts my hands like this, and she takes a picture for her portfolio of the ugliest looking nails I've ever seen in my life. Here's a picture of what they look like. I was crying. It was so sad. She ripped out all of my natural nail. Oh my gosh. I go home. I'm like crying. We finally go to the other salon that I usually go to that's more expensive. Get them redone. The guy who's doing my manicure was like, is this even possible? Like, she took off all of your natural nail. This is like the worst acrylic I've ever seen. I'm like, I don't even know. So that's my story of my horrible, disastrous nail salon. So let me just tell you, don't skimp out on great nails because of the price. Okay? Okay. And now I have because of that nail trip, I have extremely short nails. Like, my nail beds are a lot longer, but they had to cut them down because they were so damaged. So, there we go. So that's my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you love the quality, if you like this type of video, please give this a big thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. And follow my links down below if you want any more information and anything like that. Okay, I love you all so much. Goodbye.